What's good, y'all? You dub back here again in 2022. Getting more comfortable now saying that on cam. Alright, y'all, let's get it. And if you've seen any of my previous videos this year that I'm releasing, y'all can tell. Now, don't worry, I'm doing all kinds of content like I do, but I like to address some of these things, you know, that are common talking points or just out here or, little things that people haven't taken into consideration. So these talking points that I hear a lot, especially in the what's called the manosphere and the this, that, and the other. Now, Kevin Samuels, as far as I know, was the one who made this specific one, the high value man, a point of common tongue conversation. I had never heard of it. I think most of us had never heard of it before him, even though it's existed for a while. He kind of formulated it. Now, I'm not saying I don't even think he would be credited for saying he originated it, but for us, he crystallized it, right? And for those who don't know, maybe you just stumbled on, maybe you know old sub, maybe you're a new sub. Shout out to y'all, because I know I haven't really, some of the other ones, I wanted to kind of get more into the hard hitting things, and they were long enough as is, right? Shout out to y'all for because I know I haven't put out much content in recent times. Dealt with a lot, been going through a lot. I haven't really, you know, it's a whole other thing, but I haven't really had some videos I never posted, but it is what it is. We here. And the thing about this, man, me being unvarnished, unbridled, I'm gonna keep it real for them. High value man trap. That's what it is. I mean, I could just stop the video right there, right. But we gonna get into in depth, right? Why is it a trap, Winder? How could you say that? Isn't this a good thing? Isn't this thing desired? Okay. Who desires this, and why? Have we ever considered it? I mean, Kevin Samuels has addressed it. What about the average man, et cetera, right? Why should anybody be high value? Is this actually what being high valued is? Why should God strive to be that? Does it benefit us as men? Does it actually benefit society? These are the questions people should look at. People look at the fancy lifestyles. Is that even what high value is? What is a high value man? How does one attain that? When does one not attain that? Should this kind of lifestyle or social status even be maintained? So we're going to get into all of that. As I've said in other videos, and if you've ever spoken to me offline or even online or whatever, you'll know I say this, especially over the last couple of years, last 2 years, last year and a half, especially over the last year. Society, even though men built societies, and I mean Kevin Samuels talked about that, right? Built the society for you, right? Society does not value men. Women have inherent value because they can have kids. Pretty sure even Kevin Samuels talked about that. But here's the thing. While men don't have inherent value in society, societies used to value what men brought to the table. Used to value men's protection, provision, guidance slash leadership. Excuse me. It used to, value the whether it be a fur trapper, logger, lumberjack, um, farmer, you know, you name it, pioneer, sailor, explorer. Used to value that. You know, you look at the adventure story. It used to say that, very masculine. The warrior, the sentry. Used to value that, right? And then, of course, various aspects. But there's been an attack on masculinity in the last several decades, the last 5, 6, 7 decades, and especially in the recent times. There's been an attack on manhood. And this video is a twin to the video I just did with the best version of yourself being disingenuous for men. Okay. And I explain what best version of yourself actually is. Keynote, it's about mastery and self-actualization, but actualization for those who don't get my, accent. High value. First of all, when I hear the term value, okay, value, it's not just importance. It's something. It's not even just sought after necessarily. Value is what you bring to the table and the most impactful. Okay. For example, when we talk about the most valuable player award, the MVP of a league, of a team, it's the person who impacted his team or her team the most. But that person, and you could do it in a lot of different ways. Let's say in basketball, sometimes it's someone who is a lead scorer and has the best team. Other now we can get into the problems of the MVP voting, but that person has had to make a dramatic impact. Like without that person, the team ain't shit or is not nearly doing nearly as much. Okay, without question, that team would just fall apart. Doesn't mean that person, there could be multiple MVP candidates, but we are acknowledging that, yo, this person brought it. Like, throughout the entire league, this person was above and beyond, was the workload, was the workhorse, right? Is high value that in this society? No. Do a lot of high value men provide the most value in society? Absolutely not. So what does Kevin Samuels talk about? It's talking about guys who bring six figures for consecutive years, and they have like a corporate portfolio. They're known by others. They work in like a Fortune 500 company and things of that nature. Now that's not all encompassing, and I'm not trying to pigeonhole, but that's the general gist of what he's talking about. He doesn't include rappers and entertainers, athletes and things. They're a whole different thing. They didn't claw their way up to get their wealth, right? Are they have to be acknowledged by other men of quote unquote high value, right? By the way, doesn't that kind of sound very feminine? Not taking a shot. I'm asking y'all, especially men, does that not sound like a feminine construct? Does that sound like now men will acknowledge other men, but do men care about? And he even admits that it's what ladies talked about, the six figure. It's what women wanted. This is a whole thing. See, that's the whole irony of it all, right? This is why it's a trap, gentlemen. This is not about men. It's not what men bring to the table. This is not a male, dick. And it becomes a dick measuring content. Oh, I'm high value. That's why a lot of the high value dudes aren't even sought after like that. It's escape. It's something that women just throw out there online, for example. Well, I want a guy with six figures. You don't even know anybody that makes six figures, most of y'all, because y'all are average or below average women. It is what it is. Looks and otherwise. And otherwise. Like character and everything else we can bring to the table about your lack of femininity. But this, I want a six. Why? Why do you, as Kevin Samuels asked, why do you want a six figure man? For what? For what? What does that do? Like, what does it do for your family? Like, okay, families have been making less than six figures. Like, the majority of people don't make that. So, you get a man with six figures. Okay. Then Kevin Samuels says he gets what he wants. Doesn't that sound like what a lot of women are claiming? It's kind of like a pushback. It's a response. Okay. A lot of these, so since the majority of women seek after and they all want to be the one that is picked or end up with this guy, first of all, he's got all the options. He's more prone to cheating. Duh. Duh. All these women to throw themselves at, right? So what about the rest of the other guys? Oh, because a bunch of women want him, that makes him more valuable? Again, very feminine. All of this is very female oriented. Has nothing to do with men. Has nothing to do with actual value to society. Has nothing to do with actual bringing actual value to society, does it? Now, I'm not going to say they bring none. But if you were to ask me, oh, just because a guy makes $100,000 a year is up in corporate America and is well known, does that bring that? No. I don't view it as necessarily valuable. I might view a pastor who's in a small little church as more of a high value member in society. I might now it may be a guy like a wealthy dude like a Donald Trump or different ones that provide a lot of jobs, a lot of creation of wealth and business. That to me would be a high valued, potentially a teacher that impacts a lot of children's lives. That to me is high value. Okay, your actual impact, and Kevin Samuels does allude to value being the impact. But just because a dude makes a dollar figure, just because a dude works in specific things, does that mean he's more valuable, an actual high value? Or is his value taking into consideration his character? You feel me? Is he going to be loyal to her? If we're talking about in a relationship, how does he spend his money? Is he reckless with his money? Does he have a bunch of debt? Do we want to have that kind of conversation? Just because he brings that money in, is he frugal? How does he maintain it? And you could say, well, yeah, a lot of them, but he's also in a position to where he makes that. Has he actually created something for himself, or is he working and slaving away for another one? Something that a lot of y'all don't realize is that a lot of those high value men slave away 60 to 100 hours a week. Is that a lifestyle that you actually want? Ladies, do you want a man who's never home? Do you want a man who may have a side chick or mistress? Because if you want a man who actually is home who doesn't do that, then why are you going after a high value man? Why is his sexual marketplace value, as they like to throw it out, higher? Because he has material? Doesn't that make you the vain one? I'm not saying don't desire wealth. I'm not saying don't. What about getting with a guy and actually building that wealth together? And I don't mean trying to change him or push him. I mean actually do that. Actually, how about you get off your ass and actually do something? Because y'all wanted to work and y'all want to fight for female empowerment too. Also, if you have that, what if you're the first of all, you wouldn't be considered a high value woman. But what if you have that 100,000? Why do you need another man? Why do you need a man? Why do you need that? You already got it. You already got plenty. I got mine. I got my own. Oh, because it's a status symbol. Because it's ego. It's a trap, gentlemen. You're gonna slave away, and a lot of times you won't make into the millionaire class until you're in your 40s. So you've literally just slaved away your prime. You may or may not have had chicks. Now you got to deal with the gold digger problem. Now you again, all that value and all that money that you had, that's going out the door anyways. So what was the point of getting that if you just giving that money away? Just boom, just going out there. Sure, I mean if you want to live that player lifestyle, because that's exactly what it sounds like me. It sounds like a playboy lifestyle. Because that's what's going to be perceived. It's going to be, oh, like he can give me all these names. Oh, I want a chick who I want a bad chick in her 20s. But then the hypergamy, she gonna probably move on to the next dude. You're gonna introduce her to your social group, and then boom, she's gone. So now what? Oh, and God forbid you actually marry. And then one of y'all wonder why the divorce rate's so high because y'all not actually basing anything on actual value. It's a moral trap. This isn't value. It's materialistic foolishness. And I'm not telling men not to become wealthy. No. I'm saying don't try to be a high value man. No. I just talked about in a video about the best version of yourself trap. This goes akin to that. This goes more into the dark side, right? That's naive, that's foolish. How many divorces do they have to go through, gentlemen? How many times do you have a Jada Pinkett Smith situation, gentlemen? A Katy Perry situation, gentlemen? Do I need to continue the thousands of examples before y'all get it? Do not be deluded into this foolishness. At the end of the day, does this actually benefit society? Hell no. Hell no. Because it keeps the lesser valued men down. It doesn't promote for good family structures. It doesn't promote for good values in society. It teaches the wrong things. It teaches the young girls to be gold diggers and hoes, as y'all like to say. And it teaches the dudes to be nothing but fucking simps. Actual simps. High valued simps. No, that's not. It's high desired simps. Well, he gonna get what he want. You sure? Okay. She can fake being feminine. Because it's like with Lamar Ball and doggone LeVar Ball, excuse me, and Shannon Sharp. They said, how do you know she's actually in it for you? How do you know? How do you know? Or then you'll get in a situation with Steph Curry and Ayesha Curry. That whole foolishness going on there. And I'm not talking against them. I'm just showing high profile examples. Is this what you want? Then you'll have a Steven Jack Stacks situation where you'll get with a chick you think that, oh, I don't want to sign a prenup. Da 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 boom boom. You get to the day of the altar, the day of the wedding, and this is an issue. So is it good to be a high value man? What you should desire is to be a high moral, high principled man. A man with character, integrity, honor, duty, respect, masculinity, manhood. See, we're going to get some manhood back in the gentleman if I have anything to say about it. Again, nothing wrong with wealth. And the things I said, first of all, being high character, you can gain wealth. What they're after, this high value, is about rich. It's not about wealthy, because wealth is about opportunity. Remember I brought up about Donald Trump. And again, I'm not saying he's the most moral character, but wealth. Sure, attain wealth, attain mass wealth. Sure. But you know what you do with that wealth? You benefit and help society. It's not just about, living this lavish lifestyle. It's about what can you do for society. Regardless of whatever your views on Andrew Carnegie, philanthropy, becoming a philanthropist, actually promoting, actually building for society. You see, that's what real high value does. Is it actually is selfless. Remember, I talked about the pastor, the teacher, the businessman, and I can go into all sorts of fields. Men of character, men who actually did stuff, men who were remembered. A George Washington Carver, for example. That's a benefit to others. Now you just say, well, wait, don't slave away. Sure, don't slave away. But I didn't say anything about don't sacrifice. Part of masculinity and manhood is sacrificing. A dad, a husband, a brother, a friend, a comrade, a soldier. Tell me one masculine attribute. Tell me one masculine occupation. Tell me one masculine duty in society that is not sacrificial. Give me one. Give me one. Because if you can find one, then you have to question things. Why is it not sacrificial? Tell me how a doctor is not sacrificial. Tell me how a chef is not sacrificial. Tell me one job that men by and large do that is not sacrificial. Time, energy, resources, thought, emotion, and possibly your own life. Sometimes time spent away from his family. Usually time spent away from his family. Does anybody ever have that conversation? No, they don't. So women, oh, by all means, ladies, just keep chasing the high valued man. Chasing this figment of imagination that you're not even in close proximity to. While showing yourself and showing your ass and not, whether it be both figuratively and literally today, because we know what goes on out here, while simultaneously passing up all those other good value men, whether they are the lower income or higher income. Because I'm going to tell you something. A lot of guys who are high character, who actually are very, very wealthy, you'll never know. You'll never know. Especially the way they are judged. For all y'all know, I could be a millionaire or I could be broke. Y'all would never know. Y'all would never know. Really think about it. How do you judge me? How do you judge other men? Men of high value and high character don't do that. They don't judge other men. Because number one, you never know what kind of scenario. And a lot of guys, I'm gonna tell y'all one last little tidbit. A lot of guys who are very, very wealthy, they've probably been on the bottom more than a few times. Or they've taken them L's, they've taken them bankruptcies. By the way, it's not a problem to take L's. It's about bouncing back. It's about developing yourself. Self-actualization, mastery of self, developing the principles of success in any area of life, including wealth. And again, if you don't desire to go after that wealth, there's nothing wrong with that. Find out what it is you desire. Find out what you're designed for. What is your purpose in life? Not what society tells you. Or you'll end up like a guy like Robin Williams. And I'm not hating on him. But y'all know he committed suicide. Why? Because he was not fulfilled inside. Gentlemen, I want us to be better. Ladies, please be better. I want us all to think better. Again, Babylon is falling. All of this foolishness is going out the way. All of this is just talk. But will any of that matter if there's a Great Depression? Worse than anything that happened back in the 30s? Because I keep warning people within the next 3 to 5 years, I've been saying this since last year, within the next 3 to 5 years, it's going to be a massive rate of unemployment, massive rate of poverty, massive rate of involuntary homelessness like we have not seen since the 30s. Unless things drastically change, people are not ready for that. All that shit's great until the bank account dries up. And what is your moral character? Until people want to start committing suicide. Until the couple stress out because they have payments that they no longer can pay. What happens if he loses that job, ladies? What are you gonna do? You gonna love them then, or you gonna leave them? Up to 80% of divorces are filed by women, gentlemen. Remember that. Why is she there with you if she ain't ride or die? As Anthony Spade, shout out to Anthony Spade, he says she ain't holding you down, she's slowing you down. Is she there because she loves you? Or she there, or did you attract her because she wants what you got? You could say, well, I can just pump and dump. Really? You're going to go pump and dump till the rest of your life? What happens if you catch something? What happens if you impregnate this chick? Now you're fucked over for the next 18 years. Gentlemen, really think about these things that people are putting out here in the atmosphere, putting out in the ether. Really think about what you're allowing. What does Scripture say? Guard your mind, or guard your heart, your mind. Guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. Guard your mind. Guard this. Guard your mind. Guard yourself, gentlemen. Don't become another pawn and puppet. Don't become another slave of this fucking system, of this matrix. Y'all gonna see a theme of a lot of the videos I'm pumping out here. Y'all gonna see that theme. Because it needs to be said. And there's other stuff I can talk about, but I'm addressing what's out here in these YouTube streets. I'm addressing what's common vernacular today. Be very careful, gentlemen, about what you listen to and what you ingest. Very careful what you slaving on, especially brothers, especially you black men. Be very, very careful because understand that this system is not built for us. To me Irish brethren, to my Native American brothers too, y'all already know what it is. Black men, understand this. And if she's after all this, bro, don't even leave her alone. Leave her alone. Some say hit it and quit it. Just don't even bother. Just leave her alone. Okay? She only cares about you because of the flash, bada bing, bada boom. Don't even entertain, brother. Now, if she, maybe she brings her own, okay? And she just is like, listen, I got my shit. I just love and care about you. We know that's rare, but it does happen. If she meets you, y'all just out. She's like, kick it. You later reveal. She's like, oh, that's cool. Like, are you looking to be a dad? Are you looking like if she's actually about your values in life, whatever it is, if she's actually about motherhood and family and building a home together, building a life together, building an actual marriage, otherwise, don't even entertain, gentlemen. Especially you who have means. Especially you who have means. Read up on Proverbs, read up on Ecclesiastes. I know some of y'all don't believe in those are books of wisdom. King Solomon and others warned. Okay? Unexpected wonder, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on the matter. Anything you would like me to react to, anything you would like to say, please, by all means, we can open up this dialogue. I love having these discussions. I love helping my brothers. And ladies, this is for y'all too. Please do not fall for the foolishness. Please. If any ladies happen to hear this, I'm not excluding y'all. I just have to address this stuff because so much stuff is an attack on the men you may love or may want to get to. And don't let this stuff, distract you from that good man right over there who might be in your friend zone. That good man over there who's on his grind, who's just building. That good man over there who has great character and may not have all the cheese to flash. Don't get caught up in that. All right, y'all. Till next time. Peace.